Hey, crypto heads, it's the Goose with the Cryptic Paranormal Show. And my sister from another mister is here with us. Denise, what's up?
Not much. I mean, actually a whole lot, but
Yeah, a whole lot, I would say. Everybody
yeah,
knows because we celebrated it last week that Denise passed her big realtor test, and she's like legit now, right? Are you
yeah.
like super excited?
I'm so excited. It's been so much better than I thought it could be.
Yeah. I mean, look, she's even got her own
Look at
ad
that.
already. Look at that. Look at how professional that is.
So
But
professional.
we're nothing. We're not just co-hosts here. We're family. So congratulations. We're so proud of you, Denise, and so
Thank
like psyched for
you.
you and your new adventure.
I
Um.
put a house on here because I wanted to show you it because this is what I'm talking about.
Oh wow. Holy
Look at
crap. Is that
that.
something you have listed?
I get to go do a showing of it this weekend,
You
and
taking
I
some
got some.
recorders or like some cat photos or something?
I want to, and it's funny they call it the haunted house. So, of
Nice.
course, they wanted me to show it, but
That's
I
awesome.
did bring my equipment. But my boss was like, "We don't have time for that right now."
That's hilarious.
But I did
So
get to tour it and meet the owner, and it's part
awesome.
of the Underground Railroad. It has, a stop in
Wow.
the basement. Like this
No
house is
kidding.
incredible, and I'm like, I can't believe this is my life. Like this is my
Yeah,
life. This is what I
that
do
is
for work.
amazing.
Yeah,
I always wondered where that was going to cross for you. That crossed
yeah,
really quick.
yeah.
Like when you
So
gonna go
quick,
into
like
that?
within a week. Yeah,
When are you gonna
it was
walk into that
awesome.
house and try to sell it, and it's like completely, totally haunted?
Yeah, yep.
That's
And I'll
really
be
cool.
like, don't worry about the guy in the kitchen. He seems
Yeah.
nice. Just don't paint
Now
the
make sure you're
dining
actually
room.
trying to sell it and not like prolong the whole thing so that
Right? So I could keep going back for
yeah.
showings.
By the way, there's dead people here. Don't worry about it.
Right.
To walk out the door.
Yeah.
Yes, got another week.
I did learn that if there's a big like murder or suicide or something, you
Yeah.
actually have to disclose that on your paperwork. So
Yeah, I
that's
think Ohio
exciting.
is a non-disclosure. Yeah. Yeah. That's
It's fun.
crazy.
Good times.
But congratulations. We're so excited for
Thank
you.
you. I'm so
Cannot
excited.
wait. Everybody, Heisenberg will be on eventually. He's running a little bit late. I myself, if you see me dip out without any announcements, because I got some sick people in my house, just trying to be dad and mom. No, trying to be dad and husband, and just go help them out if they need it real quick. So no worries. I will be back. I'm not leaving the show for the rest of the night. If I dip out, I'll be back as soon as I can. But that all aside, down there we got our special guest, Mr. George Lunsford. How are you, sir?
Old, fat, and bald, but I'm doing pretty good.
That's awesome. When I it contacted you and started learning a little bit about you, just reading your bio is like, holy crap, this guy's got a little bit of everything going on. So,
I'm
I mean, what do
busy.
you do? What I mean, just like in your normal like non-paranormal life, it's like you talk about being a maintenance man and then making explosives for the government. I'm like, how does that even happen?
Well,
Like,
I actually went to work for the government after I got out of the Navy. I went to work
uh,
at a place called Jet Research Center, and they had government contracts and military contracts and police contracts for penetration charges and
oh
cutting
wow,
charges and stuff like that. And I went from being a builder making explosives to actually being the only quality control guy there without a college degree.
wow, that's amazing. So it was just experience and learning the business.
Oh yeah, it's fun. I loved it, especially when I'm playing ball. Then.
Yeah, right. So how does one in your position get into the paranormal stuff? Is that where did that all start for you?
When I was younger, when my great grandmother passed away,
Uh,
it all started when she passed away. I was in my bed asleep, and it's about, I guess it's probably 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, or even could have been even earlier than that. And I felt something in the room, so I woke up, and my great grandmother was sitting on the end of the bed, but I could see through her.
weird.
I could smell her perfume,
Yeah.
and she just was sitting there, and she told me that she was leaving, she was going home, and she wanted to come by and tell me bye, and she loved me.
Wow.
Hmm.
She did, and then she just kind of faded away, and I went back to sleep. And I
Huh.
thought, woke up, and I thought, well, that was a weird dream, but I could still
Yeah.
smell her perfume.
Yeah.
Then I found out she passed away.
Wow.
Wow. That is interesting. That I've never had an experience quite like that. That to me that's mind blowing. But you're not just into the ghost thing either. You're like all over the board. You're into the cryptids. You're
But
into UFOlogy. You're into what's up with the Bermuda Triangle thing. Where does that come in? You said you've had experiences with that.
that was when I was in the Navy. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh, most
Sorry.
of the time, it's no big deal. You really didn't see or do anything when most of the time we was in the triangle.
Yeah.
But one time we were out there and we seen something floating in the water. So we diverted over to it, and it was a tail fin of an F-14.
What?
Oh wow.
Wow.
Not really a big deal because they do crash during maneuvers.
Yeah.
And well, we pulled it out of the water, and it looked like it had been laser cut off. It was just a
Weird.
smooth and everything, and hardly
Yeah.
had any barnacles at all on it,
Wow.
which was
Wow.
kind of considering they said it had been missing for 3 years.
Holy
What?
crap.
Yeah.
And they never found a reason for that.
They just put it out as a crash.
Wow.
And one other time we were there, it was a beautiful, beautiful day. I mean, it was gorgeous. I was on half lookout, and the water was just as smooth as glass. And the sky was clear, and it was just a nice breeze blowing. We hit, we was going probably 10, 12 knots. And the guy on the front watch calls back to me and says, "What is this?" So I get up and I walk over to the rail and lean over, and you can see a gray spot, probably 12 miles away
Yeah.
over the horizon, and it was just a gray spot in the middle of all the sunshine and everything.
Yeah.
And as we got closer, it got bigger, and we got probably within 5 miles, and you could not see the end of it on either side or at the top, just like a big wall of fog,
Wow.
which you have fog walls out in the ocean. That's not that unusual, except you just had a weird feeling with it, and it
Right.
was dark gray.
Huh.
So as the ship started going into the fog, we started losing all our electronics, compasses started spinning, and as it went into the fog, and I'm on aft lookout going, what's going on? Because we lost even our sound-powered phones and everything.
Holy crap.
Wow.
My arm was standing up. You had like a charge in the air.
Yeah.
You could feel it in your hair and your skin. And then as the ship come out the other side of the fog, everything come back on.
Really?
Wow.
That is so strange.
And we come out. As I come out, I was the last one. I turned around, looked at the ship, make sure, and started talking to everybody. When I turned back around looking behind the ship, the fog wall was gone. But the whole day, the water got choppy. The day turned kind of a grayish. The whole day was.
Wow.
Zoom in, and it
Huh.
was weird.
That is
Wow.
interesting. Do you have any like paranormal theories behind that, or you just chalk it up to something weird that happened?
Mainly just something weird. I'm sure it has something, the magnetic storms and stuff they said they have there.
Yeah.
Because that's what would affect our watches and
Sure.
everything. Anything electronic or electrical.
Yeah.
But like, if we're being honest, that sounds like a total cover up. Like, oh, it's just an electric storm. What? That doesn't.
Well, I mean, I have no other way to explain it.
Right.
That's just what they told you it was.
Nobody said anything. Nobody would even talk about it after it happened, hardly. That's what the funny. All this stuff happened to us on the ship. We've seen all this different stuff happen, and most time nobody would ever speak about it. Me, I got a big mouth. I'm gonna talk about it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'd be like, what the fuck was that? We're not gonna talk about that.
Anybody just see that? Did anybody? Right. It's like we tune into a fog. It's like we went into some kind of time slip. It's beautiful that we lose all electronics, and then we come out on the other end, and it's like stormy seas. That's crazy. But Brian Baumhout had a question for you. Do you believe in undersea alien bases?
I don't doubt it. I don't know for sure, but I've never seen anything like that under the water.
Yeah.
But I don't doubt that there is. I mean, they have the technology to come from another universe. Going underwater shouldn't be a big deal.
Right?
What's up, Patience? A couple shout outs real quick. What's up, Darren, Brian? Who else we got there? Penny, Pezzy, Peggy.
Everybody's on here.
Yeah, they are.
Cool.
Patients
love
over
it.
at
Oh,
the
patient.
Haunted Indiana State Sanatorium. Awesome.
Ooh, fun.
They've been having
Yeah.
some kind of big event this week, haven't they? Like they're part
Yeah,
of
it's the covered bridge festival. It's like a huge tourist thing throughout the town. And this is the first time that like the sanatorium has been part of it. So not part of it, obviously, because they're not a covered bridge, but
the.
they're doing tours while people are in town for the covered bridge
Oh, cool.
festival.
And it sounds like
That's
they're getting
cool.
quite the movement through there, so that's awesome for them.
Yeah, people are excited to see it open. You know, it's been closed for
Yeah.
so many years and like totally off limits, you know.
Right.
It's not like other places where people have been breaking in for years. It's like it's been totally off limits and now it's open and you can tour it. So people are really excited about it.
That's awesome. That is really cool. Okay, back to the guests. Sorry, this happens all the time, man. We just
Sorry.
get like
No,
we
you're
get into
fine.
the chat room and we're like, oh, well, what did they say? We get
I
into
love it. I love it.
it's like we're totally not scripted. We just kind of roll with the punches, and we get down the
Yeah.
chat. We get back to the guests, and the guest gets involved. We love the show. Anyways, I'm interested about. So okay, we got your backstory on how you started. Like, I hate the term, but ghost hunting or researching the paranormal, the afterlife aspect. Amazing stories from Bermuda Triangle. Now you're also involved with cryptozoology. You're kind of into that research end too, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm getting ready to go on my first big Bigfoot hunt on the 30th.
Nice.
Yes.
That is awesome. Where
are
you
going?
headed to?
I'm going to over here a place called Hot Springs.
Nice. Is that a
Nice.
hotbed of activity from what you're being told?
From what I hear, they having a lot of recent sightings. Like the guy that called me wants me to go up there and check everything out. He actually found tracks beside his house.
Oh,
Wow.
Big track.
geez.
And several reported sightings up there and everything. Different size too. We're talking like a family unit. Anything from 6 foot to 8 foot. Wow.
Like Harry
Sorry
and
about
Henderson's.
Oh, you're fine. That's really cool. Have you ever had an experience yourself while you've been out and about, or?
Not with the Bigfoot. I have with the ghost and the UFO stuff, but never with the Bigfoot. I'm hoping to at least get a good print that I can cast and everything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
board at least.
See, like a print would be okay to me, but I don't
Yeah.
know what I would do if I actually came face to face with a Bigfoot. Like, I think it would be cool to go, and I think it'd be fun to find a cast and do all of that. But I'm
liable to chase him. That's all there is to it. I want to prove these here. I have my own theory about Bigfoot anyway, so
Right.
Yeah,
I don't know as.
Do what?
What'd
Did
you
you
say?
say you have your own story about Bigfoot?
I have my own theory of what Bigfoot really is.
Oh yeah, actually, was going to be my next question. That was the follow up, because there's so many like different factions of what people think they are. I always like to get our guests like opinion on what you think it is.
Well, for the books, I studied a lot of the Indian tribes and their legends and stuff. Well, there's stories that come when the Indians come over across the land bridge. They have stories about running into groups of white giants.
Okay.
And giants were anywhere from 10 to 12 to 15 feet tall, and they were cannibals.
Huh.
And they got so many of the Indians come over, they were able to actually attack and kill or run off the white giants. Well, there's a lot of woods and stuff they wouldn't go into because they felt they were either sacred or they were scared to go deeper into the woods. And with the mammoth caves and all the different cave systems around the United States, especially, the white giants could have reverted back into those caves and stayed in those for, who knows, a few hundred years or longer.
Right.
Because there's plenty of food, there's water, there's safety. And now they're coming, they've been coming back out for a long time. They come out and then they retreat back into the caves.
Yeah.
So that's what I believe it is. I believe that they're what used to be the white giant.
That's an interesting take. That's not one I've heard either. That's an interesting thing. That's like, but where that ties in with like Native American lore and spiritualism and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's what gets me to think more that something like Bigfoot does exist, because this isn't something that just came up like a couple years ago, like an internet viral thing.
Oh, no.
You know, just like not a
Even
video and then
Daniel
everybody's
Boone,
into it. But
Mhm.
well, even Daniel Boone shot one. Yeah, there's a story out about Daniel Boone encountering a wild man
yeah,
and it being like 7 foot high, and he took it out with his musket.
no kidding. I've never heard that.
Mm.
That's interesting. That's a cool story. I'm gonna have to like look that one up and read that. That's
Right.
that's really cool. But I know like I've talked to people who think that they might be some variation of an alien life being, because that's the way they can disappear and then just all of a sudden show up and disappear. And I've heard stories where people have connected UFO sightings to Sasquatch sightings.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I have.
Like, yeah, like we were talking to the regional director of Ohio MUFON, and you know he's the UFO guy, right?
Yeah.
But he was talking about he was out in North Carolina hiking around with his buddy. They happened upon what they believe was a Sasquatch type thing, and as they're like trying to follow it into the deeper woods, above in the horizon, they see a UFO lift off, and or what they believe was a UFO lift off and fly away. And this is a guy that's, you know, he's an engineer, he's a scientific mind, but
Yeah.
he's done his research on this stuff, and he's telling us a story, and it's like, wow, Bigfoot might be an alien too. I mean, what's going on? You know, and then I believe the spiritual aspect. I mean, obviously, if you're an ancient being, you don't have the technology and the knowledge. You're going to just assume that something that is 7, 8 foot tall is some kind of mystical being that,
Yeah.
you know, isn't is you know. So obviously, I understand that, and that's kind of where I believe it's like a living and breathing creature. I think, you know, that's kind of what I lean towards,
Mhm.
because it's been, like you said, it's an ancient storyline that's been going on for so long, to be, God knows the beginning of time. And there's
Right.
cave drawings of the Sasquatch. It's just, you know, it's, I don't know. It makes you scratch your head, and I cannot wait. I'm supposed to start diving in and researching it myself. And actually,
Well, if I
the
find anything, I will definitely let y'all know. How's that
awesome,
sound?
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm gonna keep going on. I've got a couple of groups I'm gonna work with to
yeah.
go out and do some Bigfoot hunting.
That'd be awesome. I'm
I'm
Yeah.
gonna
taking my
start.
357 with me too.
Yeah, yeah, right. I don't blame you. But yeah, I can't wait to get out there and get into the field. It probably might end up now because, well, might be a good time of year to go. It's starting to cool off and
Yeah.
be, you know, but I don't know their migration habits, so you know, they could be denning up just like every other animal, waiting the winter out until they come back out. But
Right.
we don't know.
But
But
now
I'm
would be busy
definitely,
time then because you have to
yeah,
gather up food and stuff. So maybe now is a good time.
Yeah.
yep. And if it's true that they do harvest deer for their meals, then the deer are in rut right now, rut season, so
Yeah.
they're moving like crazy. You
Yeah.
know, so
Have you seen the video of what they said to Bigfoot getting the deer?
no,
No.
It's wild. It shows that it's on a game cam,
yeah,
and it shows the deer at the edge of the field. There's woods, and then there's a field.
yeah.
It's right at the edge. And you see the deer stopping and looks around, and he kind of easily goes back down to eating grass again. And he stops and looks around again, and this brown blur comes from the side and picks the deer up off the ground and runs with it.
Oh.
Holy cow! No, I've not seen that at all.
Oh my God.
If I can find it again, I'll send it to you. But
Yeah.
it's the coolest video I've ever seen. Because I mean, it's like boom, he got him that quick.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Debbie Emerson just said, "Or fattening up for the winter. Don't be a fun-sized snack." I think I'd be a little bit more than a fun-sized snack.
Yeah, but if
I'm a
it's just
whole-
lifting up a deer running away like no problem, then
Yeah.
you're no problem either.
Well, you know, the story on the Fount monster was he picked up 2 full-size 800-pound hogs and carried them over a fence and took them into
Oh my
the
God.
swamp.
Wow.
That actually, I mean,
any
go ahead.
creature take a tree, turn it around, and stuff it in the ground.
Yeah.
He's
Wow.
Yeah.
So if they are real and they're out there, they're amazing creatures, and it's
Yep.
Right?
amazing that there's something so big that can be so elusive for so
Oh yeah.
long.
Yeah.
Let me easily believe the story that they come from the ancient giants. Have you
Mhm.
ever been up like in Maine or out west,
Yeah.
and you're
Well, I've been in
watching
Maine. Yeah.
a moose or a deer, and it just walks into the woods, and then you can't find it anymore?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I watched a moose, this humongous moose,
Uh,
take 2 steps inside the woods, and you couldn't see him anymore.
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were in the national park in Acadia Park there, and you're just driving around. There's hundreds of people driving around these roads, and we were out. We were out at an overlook, and I saw a bear like way down there, and he just disappeared, like walked in this woods, and that was it. Like 2 steps, and he's completely covered. And that's some thick woods up there.
Oh yeah.
My wife and kids are all looking for moose and bears and stuff. And I'm like, Sasquatch. He's gonna be here. Right? I don't think he's
That's
at
amazing.
the snack stand or at the crab cake stand, but maybe
Yeah.
if I keep my eyes out, he'll show up. I was actually looking for footsteps, and because we rented a cabin, and we were out on this peninsula. We had the Raccoon Bay on one side and the ocean on the other, and we had this big beach right behind our house. And when it was low tide, you could walk out quite a ways, and it
Uh-huh.
was all mud, and you could see nothing but game trails all over the place. And I was driving my wife nuts because I kept walking up and down this beach looking for Bigfoot tracks, and she's like, there's no Bigfoot here, there's too many people.
Tell her you're looking for seashells or something.
I did find a full she got mad at me because I found a rabbit, or not a rabbit, like a complete squirrel skeleton. And it was completely clean, and I picked it up and I brought it in and left it on the deck. She's like, what the fuck is this thing? I'm like, I found it on the beach. I thought it was cool. I was going to bring it home, but she wouldn't let me.
Rude.
The kids thought it was cool. Piper thought it was gross. I'm like, look at this. It's like a completely cleaned skeleton. It's awesome.
Yeah,
I
that's
want to put it
pretty
in a
cool.
thing and display it. And my wife's like, no,
Yeah.
that's not going in the car, not going in the house.
Oh gosh.
So I
We
just
used
let
to
it
do
sit there.
weird shit. Did you ever dissect owl pellets?
No.
Oh my god. This is the kind of fun that we used to have when we were teenagers. This is what we did for fun. They're so
Okay.
owls can't digest the fur and the bones, and so
Oh,
they
yeah,
basically just throw it up into these little pellets, okay?
Uh-huh.
And you could find them all over the forest if there's owls there. And you can take them apart with tweezers, and
Mhm.
you can find complete skeletons of field
Oh.
mice and all kinds of stuff in these owl pellets. And we did it in science class, but then I don't know, we were just weird. My whole family would sit around the dining room table and dissect owl pellets and put together skeletons.
That's an interesting hobby.
Yeah, it was fun. It was free and it was educational.
Educational.
You got all of it in one.
Yeah,
That's
so
good.
I'd be the weird one. I'm that weird wife that would be like, "Oh my god, kids, come here. Look at this skeleton." I was made for having boys, let's just put it that way.
Luckily, I have a couple girls that are pretty interested in weird shit. So, I think they're both going to end up going ghost hunting with me when they're old enough to sign the waiver and be legal.
Yeah.
So I think once they're 18, they're going to be good to go. They're going to be ghost hunting with dad. It's going to be cool. I think my youngest.
It's a family thing,
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. And they both are always looking for a reason to go hiking. So I'll be dragging them on a ghost hunt, a Bigfoot hunt, or research session. Debbie said she obviously grew up in the wrong family.
It's not too late, Debbie. You can go
Nothing
and
brings a
get owl
family together
pellets for
more.
yourself than owl vomit.
All right, kids, what do we do every Sunday? Dissect owl pellets.
Woo!
All right, $5 for the person who finds the biggest skeleton.
Yes.
Nice.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Debbie Emerson, I'm 67 and still bringing dead things home. That could be a little scary.
Hell yeah.
As long as she didn't kill it, it's fine.
Linda Dick's better than her husband Bear
no.
bringing home a fresh roadkill coyote to put in the freezer so he can have the hide later. Oh, that makes.
Is
But
it
Linda,
better
you
than
guys are
what?
into bushcraft. You guys are into the bushcrafting. I know. I've seen the pictures. I know that. So that makes sense for that. That's something for Bear to be doing because he does that kind of thing.
Can you imagine just like opening the freezer to go get out some chicken for dinner and you're like,
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. Obviously, I would
there's
hope he
just
would
a
have
whole
had.
ass coyote in the freezer.
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping he'd have a separate freezer for that type of thing.
Right.
But I mean, if you're in the mood for some,
gotta conserve room, so
Right.
if you're in the mood to warm up some chicken nuggets in the microwave, you gotta dig behind the coyote in your freezer.
Excuse me.
I'd be pissed off because
Nice.
it'd probably fall out every time I open the freezer.
Right. I hope it was a chest freezer or something. There you go.
Now everybody's talking about their owl density
I know.
where they live.
Katie, you got to go look in the woods right next to the trees. They're little, like, round pellets, and they're usually like gray fur. And then you could take them home, pull them apart. You'll find bones in there. It's pretty cool.
just gave everybody something to do this weekend.
Yeah.
Everybody.
You
It's a
know,
new thing. It's going to be the next TikTok
Yeah.
viral
let
thing.
me know. Tag me on Facebook. Let me know what you find. You know, it'll be fun.
Hashtag Denise Owl Pellets. It's going to be the new TikTok challenge.
Okay. Let's do
There
it.
you go.
The owl pellet.
You'll
I
be
think you
fun.
guys will find that it's actually fun, and it is very cool to see.
I'm the one
the whole
walking up and
skeleton.
down the beach and bringing skeletons and leaving them on the
Yeah.
deck to piss off my
Yeah.
wife.
It's cool. Now I want to take the boys this weekend out to the woods and find some owl pellets.
Sounds fun. If I wasn't working, I'd come with you.
Maybe I'll find some and mail them to you so you can
There you
do
go.
it too.
Awesome. I was like, what the fuck is this? It's like,
Right.
so we just mail you bird shit? I'm like,
Yeah.
no, it's bird
No,
puke.
It's owl vomit. Thank you. Rude.
Brandy orders. We have a freezer in the garage. It's one of those freezers. I never open it. That's awesome.
Oh, sorry, Peggy. Did you expect any less?
Pezzy, you watch the show enough to know
Right,
that
you
at any
know.
moment it can
I know.
completely just go haywire and chaos will ensue.
Yes.
Oh Lord.
I'm gonna bring pellets.
So now
out.
when I promoted the show, I talked about George being an author. And lo and behold, actually he is an author. He's written this book, Legends, Myths, Monsters, and Ghosts. Obviously, that's volume 4. So talk about your books a little bit. Is this the series? Like, how many volumes are there? And it looks like there's like a different region to each book.
There is. There's 4 of them, and I broke the United States into 4 sections. And I started with this one, my first book.
Hold on, let me make you big. Oh, hold on. What am I doing?
We're super professional. Bear with us.
Yeah, there we go. There it is. Legends, Myths, and Monsters. And Ghosts,
Okay.
Volume 1. Nice.
Yep. It's the Southern edition. And it does from North Carolina over to Texas and down to Florida.
Okay.
And the first chapter is 4 or 5 of the Cherokee legends, like the Supaloo, Golden Walker, and Spearfinger, and the Little People. And it's got all kinds of cool stories in it. Of course, North Carolina, I kind of cheated and put mostly Asheville because that's where I'm from. So I put my haunted high school in there and everything.
Nice.
Then I did the second one, which is this one. That's the Northern edition.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
It does Ohio, east and Virginia north. And it's
Okay.
got the cool thing about that one is there's 5 stories in there that actually have been movies. The real story behind Jaws,
Oh
the
wow.
real story behind the Conjuring,
Nice.
Annabelle,
Okay.
The Haunting of Connecticut, and what's the other one? I can't remember the other one now. But and I also threw in Washington D.C. in that one, just since it's not a
Oh,
state,
cool.
but pretty cool
Right.
things.
Yeah.
And I did this one, which is the Midwest edition. That does from Kentucky to Kansas and everything north. And
Okay.
Oh,
it's got
okay.
a dog band. It's got 5 stories from the Sioux tribe.
Nice.
It's got Momo Monster. It's got all kinds of cool stuff in it. And then I got the one you just showed, the
Yeah.
Western edition. And it goes from New Mexico to Montana and everything west, including
Awesome.
Hawaii and Alaska. But I threw in 5 stories from the Inuit people
Oh, nice.
and 7 stories from overseas.
Oh.
Wow.
A story from Vietnam, a story from Africa,
Oh,
a
cool.
story from the UK, and I can't remember what all the states were. I mean, the countries were.
Is that going to be the next edition?
Do what?
Is that going to be the next edition? Is other countries?
I don't know yet. I started my 5th book, and it's one of these from my head. So it could be really scary or it could be really weird. It doesn't
Yeah.
know.
I think it would
It's
be interesting too, especially since you talked about how, Bigfoot is way before us. Just to see if there's things that line up from other countries, from other continents, back
there is.
from, back from when it was all connected.
Oh, there is. There's lots of connections between the different Bigfoot from all around the different world because every country has a Bigfoot.
Mhm.
Type. Every state in the United States has sightings.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Canada's Sasquatch is like our Northwest Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More to that, the bigger size with the more open area because Canada has a lot more open area than some other places.
And the Ohio
Right.
grassman, which is a bit smaller but the same creature.
In
Yeah.
Ohio, yeah. Then you got the one that got a Bigfoot type creature down in Mexico, South America. I mean, there are every country. There's a mention of some type of a Bigfoot character.
That's cool.
It's
Now
a
I've got different names. There's different names for every one of them.
Right.
yeah. It's very regional, but it's all based off the same belief, the same
Yep.
sightings. It's pretty interesting. I mean, that's the thing. It's so like international, and it's just it goes back so long. There's got to be something to it, right?
Well,
It's not just like Google, you know.
well, there's a world difference between Bigfoot and Yeti.
Right.
Yeti's smaller and a lot more aggressive.
Oh, okay.
Than Bigfoot. Yeti is like, this is my yard to get out.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And of course, Bigfoot can be aggressive or throw stuff at you and everything else. But there's very few. If you read the stories and all the different reports, there's not a lot of stories about a Bigfoot attacking people. Usually, he just slides
Right.
off in the background.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You got 8 Canyon in Washington,
Mhm.
Mount St. Helens, where they attacked.
Oh, wow.
But
Okay.
I mean, there's not a whole lot of stories of them attacking.
No, and from the research I've done, I haven't really seen. I've it's been mostly like interaction where the Sasquatch or Bigfoot's trying to scare people off, doing things
Mhm.
to on purpose to like say, "Hey, get out here. You don't belong here."
Right.
My buddies own a cabin up in Kane, Pennsylvania, which is like right bordering the Allegheny National Forest.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like thick woods, and the cabin is like, here's a cabin, here's a big open cornfield that's no longer farmed; it's just open field,
Yeah.
and like basically the national forest is right in their backyard. So it's he said one night they woke up, they were out there, him and a couple of my other buddies. to what sounded like stones being thrown at the roof. And it's got one of those metal roofs, so
Yeah.
it's loud. It's just bang, bang. They thought, like it's too heavy to be squirrels dropping shit. They went outside. They couldn't hear anything. It stopped. Then went a couple hours later, they started hearing it again. And I'm like, why didn't you guys record this shit? Because that
Right.
would have been phenomenal. I mean, that's
Nobody ever
audio
thinks about
evidence of
that.
something happening.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but if you're in survival mode, you don't know what's going
Yeah,
on. You're
true.
scared. You're not
I'm
like,
like,
I
I
should
don't,
record this.
because in the bunks, it's literally just bunk beds. There's like 6 bunk beds. I'm like, you guys were all huddled in one little bed, weren't you? Hiding under your covers, listening to the bangs, they're picking on them a little bit. But no, I'm like, they were like, dude, you would have loved it. I'm like, God damn it. It happens like the one time I wasn't there. It's the one time they had stuff going crazy.
Of course.
But yeah, I mean,
I'm the crazy guy that grabs the gun and runs out to find out what makes the noise.
Right? Not the camera or the phone or,
I have the flashlight.
yeah.
I'm going to find out what's making the noise.
Right.
Yeah.
And maybe a gun just in case. I'm not saying I'm going out to blast the thing, but
I'm protecting me.
Right.
Shoot up a couple in the air just to scare it away, hopefully, maybe. But
Yeah.
Debbie Emerson wants to know if you know if there's any. Does Ireland have any Bigfoot type creatures that you know of?
I remember a few minor reports, but it was more of a not really a Bigfoot, but a wild man sightings.
Okay, gotcha.
Which is what they used to call Bigfoot. But these were the sightings I read about. They were like 6 to 7 foot tall, of a small, and thinner. They wasn't as hulky as what we have here as Bigfoot. They were thinner. And they were fast.
Oh wow. Okay. So there go wild men. Just a bunch of hippies out in the woods. Living off the land,
Yeah.
So what other kind of cryptids have you gotten into? I mean, has it just been predominantly like Bigfoot, or are you into like Loch Ness and sea serpents and all of it?
Yeah, I love all of it. I want to see it all. I want to have them walk across my front porch.
Denise asked, "What's your favorite?"
The dog man, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
What's like your favorite one to teach people about? Everybody knows about Bigfoot, but what's the one that you like to talk about the most that people don't know about?
That people don't know about?
Yeah.
I love Spearfinger. I think she's awesome.
See, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, see, that's one I'm not familiar with either.
Okay, Spearfinger was a elemental witch. She could shapeshift, and her skin was as hard as granite. Okay, so air can penetrate her skin.
Yeah.
And her big thing was she would lure kids into the woods, and she has one finger that is extra long and it's extra sharp on the end. So she'll lure the kids in the wood, and then she kills and eats their liver.
Oh
wow.
That's what her thing was. She was the kid. Well, she did this to some kids. She suckered some kids into coming out. Well, one of the kids figured out who she was. So she actually escaped. And she went back down, and one of the Indian braves found her. And she went to the chieftain and told him what was going on. Then he went to the medicine man, had the medicine man make a potion to where their arrows and spears would penetrate her skin.
Oh, wow.
So they go back up. The whole group of them goes up, and they're chasing Spearfinger. And she's running from them, and she's running across the mountains and everything else. She runs into another elemental, which is the Stone Man. And she's begging him to help, and he says, "Nope, you did this yourself. You on your own, Jack." Wow. She's getting out there, and she falls into a giant pit. And all the Indians are at the top of it, and they just all let loose firing arrows at her and spears and everything else, and they think she's dead.
Yeah.
So they go back down. They're celebrating that they killed Spearfinger. The chief thinks, "Wait a minute. You got to go up and get her body and bring it back." She's got some braves. They go up, and there's a little bit of blood there, but she's gone.
Oh, shit.
Go back and tell them. And there are even reports today of people seeing Spearfinger.
Wow.
Do they just see her as like a woman, or does she look more like an elemental? Okay.
She's an old woman. They see her at a distance, and they'll see her. From what I'm hearing, they'll sit and they'll hear her voices, and then they'll go look, and she's gone.
Wow.
So is it like in the movies, and like if she eats the liver, then it keeps her alive, or?
Oh, it never goes in that much detail on her.
Okay.
Does she prefer it with a side of fava beans?
I know.
And the
I
nice
always have
Chianti?
way too many questions. Way too many questions.
No, that's fine. I love it. I don't know. Can't really find any more stories, because I have found out that when the Indians, like the Sioux or the Cherokee or the Inuits, when they pass down stories, they pass down the exact same story that their great grandfather told originally. It never. Their stories have no variations as they're passed down.
Yeah.
Wow.
Where our stories have all kinds of variation to them.
Even from one generation, they are totally different.
I can't even get something my wife told me right 5 minutes ago.
Right?
See, I kind of cheated. My wife's half Cherokee, so I can kind of pull them.
Nice. Where do you find all these resources? Do you just deep dive into the library? Or are you searching on the internet, or is it something that...
Actually, I do internet. I talk to people. I do a little bit of everything. Mostly internet, though, because like out west, I don't go out west.
Right.
Because I got to work all the time. So
yeah, true. God, if we could only just do this for a living, right?
Right.
I would be happy either writing or acting for a living. I enjoy doing both. So
yeah. Oh, Darren knows those are my favorite.
Does the Pukwudgie fall into this type of subject?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Actually, he's in one of my books.
Oh, is he? Nice.
He's in. I don't remember which one he's in, though.
Well, we hear quite a bit about him here in the north. I mean, like I know around Ohio, New York area, like up in Hinsdale, they said there's one on the property there that they believe. Yeah. Actually, Jeff Fent caught a very interesting picture of what they believe might have been the Pukwudgie. It was really interesting. But I mean, from my research on the Pukwudgie, it's a cryptid, but it's more of like the elemental thing. It's more of like a spiritually based creature that's like a Native American story that of like a prankster that protects the woods, but will throw down if you're trying to destroy the woods or disgrace the woods in any way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Hinsdale supposedly has one, and I've heard them around the PA Allegheny National Forest area, along with Bigfoot and everything.
Cool.
So,
hey, I don't doubt anything anymore.
Right?
No, I mean that they actually. I talked to a guy out in Cherokee when I was doing my research on the little people.
Yeah.
And there's stories that when they were building out there, they found the tunnels and the bones of the little people.
Oh wow.
Okay, tell me more about those. Where are they at?
Oh, well, these are Cherokee little people. There's different ones, and they all have different functions. There's the mischievous ones. There's the happy ones. There's the ones who take care of people in the woods, and there's one that plays tricks on them. There's mean ones. There's good ones, and they're just little bitty creatures.
Oh my gosh.
Brian brought up the Kentucky goblins. That's a good story.
Oh yeah.
The cave dwelling goblins of Kentucky. It's there's been a couple documentaries on that have been really interesting. What's that?
Around the Mammoth Caves?
Yeah. Yep. There's a lot of deep dives and rabbit holes to go down with those stories too. There's just so much. I mean, it's just crazy. I could see where you could write volumes upon volumes of these books, and all these.
I wish now I would have did a lot more research and put a lot more in my books. But these were the first books I've ever done. So I just basically passed the stories down. But a lot of the stories I took and found all the variations I could, and I condensed them into one story.
Right.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
One of the ones I really enjoy if you ever get a chance to read it, H.H. Holmes,
Yeah.
his story.
Yeah.
He may be a serial killer and an evil person, but he has a fun story. Okay. I mean, anybody that can build a hotel made to kill people.
Oh yeah.
You just
Right.
got to give a little bit of respect to.
Right. Right. It took me for a while because they actually touched base a little bit on that on American Horror Story, the hotel season. Because one of the ghosts that lives there is the guy who built the hotel, and they show flashbacks where he's like dumping people down these walls that go to little things like incinerators and stuff where he could hide the bodies. And yeah,
Yeah,
interesting guy.
he had 5 different contractors,
Yeah.
and not a single contractor knew what the other ones were doing.
Right.
Like gas pipes under beds. They had beds that would drop, and you'd hit a slide and slide down into the basement, and just all this cool stuff he had done in this hotel. And what'd they get him for?
I can't remember.
He escaped up there in Chicago when they finally found out what was going on. He escaped there, and they arrested him for a bad horse deal in Texas.
That is funny.
And they took him back to Chicago.
Yeah, and I follow the whole storyline with is it Jeff Mudgett talking about him possibly being his uncle, who's also might have been Jack the Ripper.
Oh,
there's a
yeah.
connection there.
Yeah, I just found the timelines to line up right.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting to read it and to watch the show, but I'm not 100% sold on that theory yet.
Well,
But,
I know who Jack the Ripper was now.
oh, do they?
He was a dentist.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I watched a big thing about where they solved who it was, and they had all this evidence they said about it.
Huh.
But yeah. But if you notice, the way that he did his murders is the same way that guy did in Florida. The guy who's killing all the college students.
Yeah.
There's a lot of similarity between them two.
Yes, I know what you're talking about, and I can't remember the guy's name either. Shit. No.
I did a podcast. I can't remember his name.
That's right. You also do. You have your own podcast. Is that correct?
I do, but I'm horrible about keeping up with it. I'm ashamed.
Yeah.
It's hard.
It is. It is.
I had a radio show. I did a radio show every week. I did, a 30-minute show every week. And I loved doing it. I had 250,000 listeners and countries listening to me. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And then it killed with COVID.
Oh, yeah.
The podcast, I just can't seem to get the same energy to put back into the podcast.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's a different feeling, too, because when podcasts, you're like pre-recording it, and then you got to edit it and, kind of like get into like the fancy stuff with the technology. And it takes a lot of time to put one together.
Yeah.
That's why, I just pretty much at the end of the show now, I just download the audio recording that recorded. I don't care if it's raw or if it's edited. And I just throw it right up on Spreaker the way it is, so people can listen into it.
We're super professional.
Yeah, it is what it is. We do this for fun. I mean, if I
something's better with that, though. It really is the raw, uncut footage of the people you enjoy listening to.
Yeah, and we get a lot of kudos because we're laid back and we're just like nothing's scripted. And
you're fun. You're fun to talk to.
Yeah.
We just have fun. Maybe we should be a little more professional every once in a while, but we just like having fun.
We get into some pretty interesting, deep conversations, though.
Yeah.
On a lot of paranormal subjects, and we also talk about snacks.
And owl pellets.
We're very well. Yeah, and owl pellets, and
never know.
Hey, whatever it takes,
Right.
And the logo is awesome. So
So, what kind of acting are you into? Like what?
I did a lot of independent feature films. I did commercials. Did a music video for the Steep Canyon Rangers called Long Shot.
Oh wow!
I did book trailers, PSAs. I've done all kinds of stuff. I did it for almost 15 years.
Oh wow, that's really cool.
It was a side thing.
Yeah, something that you probably wish you could do full time, right?
Oh, I do. If it wouldn't got so political,
Yeah.
I would have loved to do it full time, but
Oh, yeah.
everybody's nuts now. It's like,
Right?
Yeah.
oh, wait till this. You're actors, okay? Just go act and have fun.
Right. Yeah.
Paid to
Yeah.
enjoy yourself, so
Yeah.
don't be so serious.
Right.
Disrespecting the stage to promote their own political agendas on it,
Right.
no matter what side you're
Politics
on.
literally ruined everything.
That's
Like,
why I'm so happy to do my books. I can let my
Yeah.
yeah.
I can let my mind go crazy, and this has some of the best kill scenes in it. Some awesome people get killed in so interesting ways in this one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is this one that you're currently writing, or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The working title right now is called Justice, and
Okay.
I guess you can consider it either a supernatural horror or
Cool.
a dark fiction.
Nice. That sounds really interesting.
Got some deep ties in it, but you'll never feel like you're reaching anything that deep. You'll just
Yeah.
enjoy the read because there's lots of just these bad people get bad things done to them.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Nice.
I like it.
Yeah. And the main character is a female, and she is the baddest. She is this. Ooh, she's rough.
Hey, man, you don't mess with crazy chicks. I'm just
That's
kidding.
Oh, no.
That's
Well,
awesome. Are you having more fun with this than
Do what?
are you having more fun with this than the writing about all the I don't know. Does that still count as fiction when you're writing about like cryptids and stuff? That's
I think I like it
nonfiction.
better because it comes out of my head. These are my.
Yeah.
This is my story. They ain't nobody else's.
Yeah.
And the other one, I had to share stories from somebody else, and it's just fun. I love to do the research, but I want to get my stuff out there.
yeah.
I got people coming out, and I'm thinking about doing one about an evil clown.
Oh,
which is a
no.
whole different thing now. So
Oh,
everybody's
evil.
so you got to do something with evil clown. I mean,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
especially he gets brought back by voodoo. So
Perfect.
That's
That's
awesome.
perfect.
I'm a sick puppy, so
We're about to learn real quick.
Yeah, I've had the times, and I don't know how many times I've tried to sit down and write them. I just cannot get rolling with it. I could be at work driving down the road, and I could think of a whole book idea while I'm out there. And, characterization, all this stuff. The minute I even try to even like sit down and even just handwrite out an outline, it's like, boom, can't do it.
Why don't you just like you need to do like memos on your phone, and then like you can add if you have an Android phone or whatever, you could do it on Apple too. If you just say, "Hey Google, add this to my notes," and you can literally just keep talking and it'll put it all in there. And then one day when you get time, go back to it and finish the thoughts.
Why don't you just write it for me? I'll just call you when I get an idea.
I fucking love writing. Don't tempt me. I would.
Hey, Alfred Hitchcock did all his stuff. He would whatever came to his mind.
Yeah.
He would write it on napkins or the tablecloth, anything. He'd write down his thoughts and put it on there, and then go back and gather them all up to do his stories.
Right. But when you have an idea, you got to just hurry up and write it down or get it. And we live in the age of technology. You don't even have to write things anymore. You have your phone with you. Even if you like a lot of times I'll start a text message to somebody. It's usually Shelly. And it's just like things that I need to remember or that I want to do later or whatever. Like just ideas that come to my head. And then I'll just type it all out in a text message, and then it's right there, just go back and look at it later. So Shelly always gets random shit in her text messages because, who knows when something's going to come to my head, but there's ways
called
to
up
do
at
it.
like 2:00 in the morning. Hey, I had this idea.
Right.
I was sleeping and I had this idea in my
Picture
sleep.
this.
Yeah. And I know you'll probably be up anyways, like at Madison hanging out or being the late owl that you are.
Yeah. I don't sleep early.
What's up, Mr. Goat? Jeff Tafflin said he just wanted to check in and tell everybody to stay safe and keep in touch. God bless.
Thanks,
May the gods bless you, sir. Thank you for watching. As always, buddy. One of our
appreciate it.
biggest fans out there. We love him.
That's
the goat.
cool. The goat.
The goat. That's what everybody calls him.
Yeah.
The goat. Actually, when he chimes in, he's like, "Hi from the goat."
Right.
Good
That's
dude.
how we know it's him.
Yep. Jeff who? Oh, the goat.
Right? Oh,
yeah.
the goat.
Yeah.
Got it.
Oh,
It's like for the
Lord.
longest time, Denise didn't even know what my real name was because everybody just
Yeah.
calls me Goose.
That's true.
She's like, "Who the hell is Ray Gooseby?" She's like,
I think
"That's
it
my
was
real name."
Kimmel was talking. He's like, yeah, and then I was talking to Ray, and I was
Yeah.
like, who the fuck is Ray? And he's like,
Of
you
all
know
people,
Ray. I'm like,
I'm surprised Adam would have ever
Yeah.
called me Ray.
yeah, it was weird. It threw me off.
He
I
either
didn't know
calls
who the
me
fuck he
Goose
was
or the
talking about.
governor.
Yeah.
That's good.
You guys are a trip.
So
We're a
you
mess.
said you got a big Bigfoot tracking coming up. Would you have anything in store as far as ghost hunting or checking out any haunted places anytime soon?
I don't know yet. I hadn't really scheduled anything yet, but you never know with me.
Yeah, that's cool. Is there? Well, let me ask you this: is there like a top place that money no issue? You would just be able to go in and do your thing. What would be that place?
Skinwalker Ranch.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It has it all. It's got the paranormal. It's got the Indian stuff. It's got UFOs. I want to go in and just jump right in the middle of it.
Yeah. That would be really cool.
Yeah, I've watched a couple documentaries. I was actually watching that series it was the History Channel. It was pretty interesting. There's been 2 seasons of it. Probably like the only paranormal show that I've actually been following. Just
It's
because
good.
it's yeah.
I love that show.
Yeah, it's different, and they're actually using like scientific like methods to like record all this activity.
Yeah.
And then just random cows dying, and then catching a UFO in the sky while all this is happening. It's crazy stuff. But so far, it seems to be mostly UFO or whatever they call them now, UF or UAFs or whatever they call them now. But
they
it seems to be
got the portal. Remember?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah, the portal. Yeah,
Mhm.
yep, that's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just that one guy had that horrible thing growing in his head, like one of the groundskeepers.
Right?
I mean, that was insane. But I would love to just walk around that place, just like.
Oh, me too. That would be a trip. I want to go investigate it. I want to stay there for a few days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think you could go for just one day. I feel like you'd go for a day and then you just want to stay forever because there's so much to try to figure out.
Yeah.
And I'm a stubborn old man, so I want to find out what it is. I want to find out
yeah.
what it is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at how many. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, from the history it's had with military finding stuff there, and all these big research companies buying the place and researching, and local farm hands, and it's an amazing place. It's a hotbed. I couldn't even wrap my head around it.
Even the origin of it, going back into the curse that was actually put on there by the Indians. I mean, that whole story itself is it's a wicked story.
Yeah.
It's got so much detail in the story itself. Then you got all the UFO stuff piled on top of that. Then you got the rumors of an underground base, and then I mean, it's all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah. And here's me. I'd like go in there, you did have the military and all these amazing, super smart scientists. And I'd be like, no, I'm going to figure out what happened here. Like, I'm going to do it. Who am I? But
pick up some dust, let it blow in the wind, see which direction it goes.
Yeah.
See?
I know what's happening here.
Eureka!
It's right there.
That's funny.
I like your attitude.
Like
Debbie said it right.
Thinks they're gonna go there. Like, I'm gonna figure it out.
Debbie. Sorry, your name is now Debbie. I'm sorry, Pezzy. I cannot talk tonight. Jesus Christ, we have Pezzy and Debbie. But she said it right. It really is a buffet of paranormal. That place. Yeah. And I never think of that place when I ask this question because I always have my places. But that place just, I mean, if you want to go to one place and just cryptic UFO, Indian folklore, I mean, ghost stories, it's got
Well,
everything. It really
the
does.
closest place to it would be like the Alaskan Triangle. I mean, it has
Yeah.
everything. You got
Yeah.
the ghost, you got the Bigfoot, you got the Otter Man, you got all of these different cryptics and all the ghost stories and the disappearing airplanes and all that stuff going on. Hey, what's up?
Not much. How's it going? What are you guys
Heisenberg.
doing here?
I'm sorry. Is it your show turn now?
Oh, is it the Heisenberg hour?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know how that would go. It'd be a stare off. That's all it would be. Like who's gonna flinch first? The guy that's okay with uncomfortable silences, or the rest?
It's good to see you, man. How's everything going? Everything good?
Going good. Got the couches out, so I can start working on my office.
Nice. Are you working at home now, or
I will be. Yeah.
are they closing down your office completely, or?
Nope. I'm part of the what they like. I guess they just want us out of the office, like focusing on recruiting instead of getting pulled into other things. So.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Nice.
Gotcha. Well, it'll be a change for you working at home.
Yeah, I don't feel like it. No, but I think I'll be fine. I'm still gonna get dressed like I'm going to work. Otherwise, I won't feel like I'm part of society and will just never come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went through the same thing for that short period of time I worked from home before.
You're like, the outside.
Yeah. Like, I think I might put jeans and go to the end of the street today instead of wearing my damn sweat shorts and t-shirts all the time.
Right.
I would just be in the house, like making up conspiracy theories.
There you go.
Nice.
And I would like go to the grocery store and I'd be like, oh my gosh.
You guys know the sun's really green? They're not telling you the truth, man. The sun's green.
Yeah.
It's going to start
That's
his
the
own
kind of
podcast.
stuff I'd be writing.
Mm-hmm. I have your first assignment, Heisenberg. You have to look into, what are they called, George? Electrical storms? Is that what you called it?
Electromagnetic storms?
Yeah.
From the sun?
It's a bunch of bullshit.
From the sun?
No. In the ocean.
Bermuda Triangle.
It's just a normal thing. It's an electromagnetic storm, okay? It's aliens, but they just tell people that it's an electromagnetic storm, and then everybody's like, oh, okay.
Ooh, the aliens or the weathermen?
The people on the Navy ships.
I don't think the weathermen are the ones who predict magnetic storms, are they?
No.
They have a 50 to 60% chance of magnetic storms today.
We got a row of electromagnetic storms running through the Bermuda Triangle today, so keep yourself safe, guys. Don't disappear.
Oh, my eyes are burning. I can't even read that in chat. Debbie said aliens posing as weathermen.
Yep.
There you go. No, it's just a magnetic storm. It's good.
It's fine.
Don't forget your umbrella.
Hopefully it's plastic.
Yep. Or your foil hats. Right? Whatever you want to wear.
Well, thanks for joining the show, Heisenberg.
Yep, I'm out. See you guys later. See you next week.
Just wanted to kick that first wheel off the show train.
Yeah. That's my job. You guys are probably going along at a nice pace right there.
Yeah, we were like asking real questions and shit. It was really weird. I'm glad you're back.
It's almost like a real podcast interview.
Right.
That's weird.
Whew, thank God that's over.
Oh.
Sorry, George.
I'm being beckoned. I will be right back, guys.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry. I'll be right back. Take over, Heisenberg.
You got this.
Be that.
Staring contest. So I did want to ask a question. Okay. Your Bigfoot hunt that's coming up. Sorry, Heisenberg. Your Bigfoot hunt that's coming up. Is it something that people can buy tickets to, or you already have?
Oh no, this is just a guy called me and wants me to go investigate it.
Oh, okay. I really want to go on a Bigfoot hunt. Obviously not by myself.
There's different groups you can get with. There's groups in every state you can go with.
Yeah, I think it would be fun.
Like I set up something with a group called Bigfoot 911. They actually do the Bigfoot Festival and all that stuff. And I was supposed to go with them, but I couldn't. The last time I went is my anniversary.
Oh,
So
yeah.
my wife might not have been happy if I'd have went.
Right.
So I chose to go to the one on the 30th instead. But they got when they went to this one to investigate this at the lake, they got verbal from the Bigfoot. They got rocks thrown. They got some bluff charges, stuff like that.
Wow.
Those bluff charges would have me bluff running, man.
Right. Yeah.
I was on a Bigfoot
Yeah,
walk once. I've never been on a real hunt because I feel like that involves camping.
I'm going there because I'm going back to me and one other guy. So I want to go do the day to find tracks and find scat and hair and all that stuff. And just to see if there's any sign of Bigfoot being in the area. Or if it was just people drinking and what was going on.
Yeah, that's dangerous. There's two of you. I'm glad you're going during the day at least.
Well, I go armed. I go armed everywhere I go. So
that's good.
I'm an old baby guy. I was a gunner's mate, so I'm always armed.
Yeah, well, that's definitely a situation that calls for it. So
I know you don't know what he's carrying.
If it's a stick or a rock, I got him out. I've got him beat.
Right? Bring a stick to a gunfight.
They probably got like a whole armory of people that they've taken.
Yeah, people go missing all the time in the woods.
Yep. Before he thought he had. Well, when the 44 first come out, the big Magnum pistol, a guy went up to Alaska because it had a problem with a polar bear up there. So he went up to stop the polar bear with his 44 Magnum. Oh. He got 8 holding his 44 Magnum by the bear.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Ashley Storm.
Hello. Like I imagine like Bigfoot's house, it's got like us on the walls.
Right, like how we have your heads and stuff.
Yep. I caught this one down here at Towner's Woods here.
It put up a good fight, but I got it. Right? Oh my gosh.
Oh Lord. That's pretty good. I like that. That's a visual I can go with.
Oh gosh.
Now you got me wanting to write a funny Bigfoot book.
Do it. You can make it a kid's book.
Yeah, there you go. Or an adult one. It doesn't matter.
A demented child book.
Yeah. Oh, that's the other thing. I know you said you were not upset, but that you couldn't write more in your books. Maybe since I'm about to buy all 4 books and I'll want to learn more, maybe just take like each one, take a couple of cryptids in each book instead of doing so many and go way more into detail about them, because
people will read them.
Yeah, then it's maybe take like one book about Bigfoots and then write about all the different varieties of them, just so we can I have a lot of questions, George. Okay. So I want more details. Make it happen.
I'm to share what I know, so no problem.
I just think it's fascinating, especially with ones that have been around for so long. I just think, how do you deny it?
Well, people only believe what they can see or touch. Mm-hmm. And you can't touch $1 trillion, but there has to be $1 trillion out there. So, yeah.
That's true.
No,
Aliens,
they keep doing it.
I mean, I don't think aliens they're not like a cryptid or anything, but it always drives me like absolutely insane when people say, "Oh, there's no such thing as aliens." Like, I don't how can you look up at the stars and see that every single one of those is another fucking solar system, and you really think that we're the only planet that can, sustain life, or that we're the only ones that are smart in the entire universe? Like, that's very
Well,
naive to me.
the age of our little galaxy compared to some of the other ones, we're
Right?
new. We're very new compared to some of them out there.
Yeah.
The lack of people's brain power never amazed
Right. Like, you have to be so closed-minded and naive to think that we're as good as it gets.
If we're as good as it gets, that's pretty bad.
Right?
It really is.
And you think there's somebody on another planet saying the same thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're probably having a podcast too.
They're probably watching the show. Our reach is interdimensional.
Yeah, that's right. We're the best in the universe.
That's why I'm enjoying it so much. I mean,
Their survival guidebook would be cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
here's
Brian
one.
said a
Run from
survival
it.
guidebook.
Run. I wrote it for
Heisenberg would
you,
write a
Brian.
book. Yeah, it would just say, "Go home, stay home." Yeah.
Yep. It's like run from it and please load up Denise's stuff.
Yeah. That would be cool, though. I mean, because especially if you have the ones who have been known, you said the Yetis are more aggressive.
Oh yeah.
You could do a whole book about different attacks, or like ways to defend attacks or avoid them.
Well, in the West
Besides
book,
staying home.
the last book I did, there's a story in there about the 8 Canyon up in Washington, and the whole story about the miners getting attacked by the Bigfoot is in there.
See, that's so fascinating and also fucking scary at the same time. Like, they're just miners doing their job, right?
They made the Bigfoot mad. I mean,
Yeah.
one of them got hurt. They actually had to take him out of the cabin and escape down the mountain to get help.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. That's what I'm saying, Debbie. It can't be. It can't be.
I mean, I'm still under the and I'll say it till the day I die, is like, he doesn't want to be found, man, or he or she doesn't want to be found.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's true.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
That's why I go with my theory that I had about Bigfoot. But I mean, if you'd had your ancestors wiped out, you wouldn't want to come back out again to be wiped out again. So
There you go. Mm-hmm.
That's
they're
very
running
true.
for a reason. I mean,
Right. And it's probably just like how we pass on Bigfoot stories. They pass on stories about, the not hairy people who are murderous.
Right.
And you know what I mean?
I come into the woods and
So-
shoot things.
Yeah.
Chop
So
down the
stay away
trees.
from them. Yeah. Don't ever let them see you. It makes
Yeah.
sense.
he's back.
I'm back.
Welcome to the show.
Had to get thanks.
We solved everything.
Okay, great. So I can. All right.
Yeah.
Well, have a good night, guys. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, Uncle
Had to get the
Tony.
kiddos all drugged up for bed. I mean,
Wow.
ready for
Yeah.
bed.
Here, take this nighttime children's.
No, mom's asleep, so
Right,
it's time
Debbie.
for their
The scary
nighttime.
hairless beast. Yes. Yes, we
We're
are.
the scariest ones, really.
Yeah.
Just like, look at when Bigfoot attacks, it's with rocks and sticks and things. We have
We think.
way more than that. We're way scarier.
That's just him
He's
telling us
also
to leave.
got easy.
I don't want to see it when he actually attacks. No, thank you.
Right?
You just leave your
That's-
Bigfoot tracks and some stuff for us to find, and we're good. Let us get some blurry pictures through a bunch of trees while you're
Yeah.
moving away. That's fine.
Yeah.
Well, they're probably the ones selling them.
They got a deal worked out with Cliff and all up here. Here's some pictures.
Right.
They're all hanging out in their den. Hey, watch this.
Right. Or they're like, "Here, is this a good one?" And they pose, and then they're like,
Right.
"Oh no, that was
too
not
clear.
blurry
It's too
enough."
clear.
Yeah,
Not blurry enough.
Oh.
Hey, don't do that.
Right? It's too clear.
Don't show our address.
Behind the tree, behind the tree.
Well, it's just like I watched that show, Expedition Bigfoot, and I watch it because it is interesting, and part of me is like really just like I want to be where they're at, traipsing through the woods looking for this creature to
Mhm.
find answers, but they make so many generalizations and like they state everything as fact. I'm like, how do they know this?
Right.
Oh, there's a bunch of berries here, so we really didn't catch anything, but we'll talk about how these berries are definitely part of the Bigfoot diet,
Right.
which means Bigfoot's been here. There's definitely Bigfoot here because there's berries here.
Because there's berries.
Like, well, there's berries in my backyard, but I've never seen any
Right.
Bigfoot back there. It's just they make some just wild like accusations as their fact, and it's like, and I sit there and I'm enthralled with it, and then my wife says something, and she's like, "There are berries everywhere. Then why don't we see more Sasquatch?" I'm like, "Shut up!" But you're right.
How dare you ruin my fun with facts?
Right? But no, I mean she's actually right. I mean, well, this is the 6-foot one. I'm like, how do you know how tall it is? You can't even find one, but you could tell that
Or
this
they
one
say,
was
like,
an 8-foot.
It's a juvenile male. Like, how do you know? That could be full grown. Look at human
Because
beings.
the
We have
angst they use
full-grown
to break the
adults.
sticks.
Yeah.
His
But
name
we
was
have
Pete something.
Yeah.
If you look at human beings, we have full-grown adults, full-grown, who are anywhere between 5 foot and 7 feet. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It just seems crazy to make an assumption off of its size.
Judging by his footprint, I think he was a 9-foot tall male. Like, by his footprint,
Right?
what if he's a really short dude with really big feet? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Debbie says cat and scoot.
He's a short, fat Bigfoot.
Right. I mean, if that's the case, then I'm a Bigfoot or I'm a little foot. I'm a short, fat dude with small feet. So, I mean, Heisenberg is going to be bait.
They always want to put me as bait.
Yep. We just want to see a scream.
I'll scream for free. I'll tie you to it free.
Oh gosh.
But yeah, these shows crack me up because they just state everything as fact when the fact is we don't know.
Right.
Kathy, Mama Santori said that's a hobbit.
I
wish I lived in.
I don't know.
I wish I lived in the Shire.
New Zealand.
Yeah, New Zealand.
Oh goodness, yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Have they ever found traces of Bigfoot in like those island continents, like or the islands like Australia and New Zealand? No, New Zealand's not a continent, but
Yeah,
have they?
They have one they call is it Yowie in Australia.
Oh.
I think it's a Yowie they call it in Australia, and it's actually in the writings of the what are they called the indigenous people that were there.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
The Aborigines.
Yeah,
Aborigines. Good call, Heisenberg.
Good job.
That's all I know. I'm done.
Yeah.
That was my knowledge for the night. I studied all day to learn that word.
All right. Well, thanks for your input. Bye.
Look, everybody in
Anyways.
the chat is.
Just kidding.
Oh.
Now they got it.
I felt like you were here then gone. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I thought I was
I have the
done.
power. I let him say his smart thing and then get him off the show. I'll bring him back in when I forget my words.
Yep, that's what I'm here for. Sometimes I just make them up, but all
And
words are made
dates.
up, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Heisenberg's good at dates too. Oh gosh.
Sometimes.
You guys you're very intently looking at something.
Sorry, I
We're
was
just trying to
thought
catch up with the
somebody-
chat.
Yeah, I thought somebody asked about something, but now
People
I can't
talking
find
about
it.
scat and scoot. Okay.
That's a shitty.
That's a shitty conversation.
Well, you missed our whole
Oh,
conversation
God.
on owl pellets.
That's
Yeah.
true.
That was a good one.
Oh, those are the worst.
What?
We have a bunch of
That's
stuff in
fine.
them, man.
Yeah, that's fine. And you dissect it and put the skeletons together.
Look at his face. It's disgusted. What's
Well,
up, Dustin? How you doing, buddy? So I'm kind of interested. I'm going to read the book, and I'm going to get all 4 of them. But what
Right.
did you cover that was in Ohio?
I don't remember. Let me look and see.
Since we're all from Ohio, besides
Right.
So it's kind of
there you
hard
go.
to remember. Let's see what I do in Ohio.
I'm just curious.
Why am I like nervous? I'm like, oh God. Okay.
Please let it be me.
I did
Don't let the
Helltown,
big- Oh, cool.
the Loving Frogs, Satan's Hollow, and the
Okay.
Grassman.
The Grassman. Cool.
Where's Satan's Hollow?
You have to read the book.
He's not going to give everything away. God. I believe
Just
it's
wanna
in
make sure
Madison
it's not
County
close
or
to my
Madison,
house.
Ohio.
Madison, Ohio.
Right.
What's your address?
Crazy. That's where it is.
Mhm.
Tony, if they're all short, wouldn't their nuts drag in the snow? You're assuming they have big nuts.
Yeah.
I had to read it. It's Tony.
That's why they'd be angry. I'd be angry too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably
Now
why
I'm
the
like,
Yeti's always pissed off. It's cold.
Now the Yeti I know serves lemon snow.
now I'm really
cones.
wondering. I'm wondering if they do hibernate for the winter.
I best I can figure they do migrate.
Yeah.
From what
I
I
feel like they
think.
follow the resources.
And I don't know if they actually hibernate or not because they'd have to. I mean, if they were attacking everything and run into the mountain, run into the cave,
Hmm.
you wouldn't hibernate because then you're open for attack.
Yeah.
Right.
They're probably, they probably probably more migratory. That's my
Or
theory.
just yeah.
Now, one
Or
thing
just-
they consider to be like Bigfoot show or Sasquatch show is like the tree bends or the tree breaks.
Yeah.
And how a lot of them are bent in the same direction. And they think that's the way they map out the direction of like water resources or to like, I guess, berry fields, if you want. I'm going to put berries out there again, but it's a way for them to like their family or their group to remember how to get to certain places.
Right.
Well, if you look in the stories of ancient people, ancient tribes and stuff, they did the same thing. They'd mark on rocks, they'd bend trees, they would break limbs, and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, so it would make sense that it's some kind of a marker.
Yeah.
Right. Oh gosh. Sorry.
I was telling them
everyone's
I've never been on a Bigfoot hunt, but I've been on a Bigfoot walk.
Yes.
A big walk.
Yeah,
I
we
need to
did
hear
that.
about this.
Yeah. It was interesting. It was right after the very last Kent Paranormal weekend they had here in Kent, Ohio, and it was a big paranormal convention that they had for 2 days. A lot of podcasters, a lot of local ghost hunting teams were presenting, giving lectures, and they let us all set up tables for our teams and whatever, and display our books or whatever we had out, and really good time. They had this like little extra thing at the end of the second night where we went to this local park that, believe it or not, had a lot of Bigfoot sightings, and the local Bigfoot hunting group they like let us around and kind of just showed us some things that could be. They weren't saying definitely, this tree snap is something, but they were doing calls, they were doing tree knocks and stuff, and we heard some weird responses at that one point.
Mhm.
But
Oh, that's
the only thing for me is I didn't realize we're taking the whole like 3-mile hike. It felt like
It was a hike.
yeah, everybody's like basically dragging me at the end, like we're almost there, Ray, we're almost there. Like I had just been through some kind of war zone, like got to get them back to base. But but at the same time, we had Tom from MUFON. He was there with us, and we stopped in actually this big open field, and we were looking towards the sky and like
Talking
kind of
about
getting
that.
talking about UFO sightings around the area, and he was showing us different apps so we could like track what's flying overhead. So like if we see something that we can't explain, we just look up this app and it tells you like it'll give you everything, every piece of information on what's flying over.
Yep. Flight
Like if
radar.
it's called
Flight
Float
radar.
Radar. It'll tell you what type of plane. It'll give you your call numbers. It'll give you like its destined like pickup and destination. I mean, it gives you everything.
I gotta
That's
switch
cool.
it up to this phone.
It was really cool. Yeah, and it would like some would tell you like it was a satellite in that area, like cover like orbit, what's ever in orbit. Just a really cool thing. So, if it's not any of those things, then it could be something. But it was just cool.
Right.
Just it was a perfect night too. It was like really, it was really clear that night, and
Yeah.
it was actually a nice break for everybody because we were just like all laying on the side of this hill, taking a break, watching the sky. I think I might have taken like a 5-minute nap. I don't know.
That's cool.
But yeah, it was a really cool thing.
Yeah, that was a nice little thing at the end of that one. Unfortunately, it was the last one, but
yeah,
that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and we
So
stopped
you
at
all in Ohio?
Mhm.
yes, yeah. Actually,
Cool.
Heisenberg and I live like 15, 20 minutes away from each
Yep.
other, right outside of Akron, Ohio, and Denise is way up there by the lake. She's about 40 minutes northeast of us.
Cool.
She gets to hang out in the haunted Madison Seminary all the time, and she's one of the big players of the Mad Crew. She
Big
is
player.
yeah. So yeah, but the three of us, our main wheelhouse is like the ghost thing. That's how we all kind of got into this, and for me, it's kind of branched more out, and I through the show, and I think Heisenberg will say no, but I think he does. I think you get into like the stories behind stuff. Like he'll never be like an active Bigfoot hunter. I don't think.
Mm-mm.
No. Denise, I don't know. She's on the fence, but we all like talking about all of it now.
Yeah.
Whereas before, it's like we would just have a bunch of ghost people on. But you can't be in the paranormal and not like eventually venture on into all aspects. And before you know, it's like the X-Files podcast where you have all kinds of stories from all the different fields and different factions of the paranormal research world, and that's kind of where we're at now. So
Yeah, I love it.
I mean, it's something there. There's something in there for everybody.
Yeah.
The paranormal, the cryptics, the ghost.
Yeah.
I mean, all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah, that's
And
cool.
yeah, Dave Wooliver and I, he's like the program manager, I guess, for RU Media, the broadcast network we are flagged under. We're gonna start doing like local. We're gonna start doing like a YouTube series eventually here about all the local myths and legends in the Ohio area. So we're gonna like
That's
have an
super
episode
exciting.
and covering Ohio Grassman. We're gonna cover the Loveland Frog Monster or Frogman. So we got a lot of different. I mean, Ohio is like a hotbed. So we're so lucky. We're so lucky to be here. There's been so many crazy stories about UFO sightings that are like internationally known. I mean, like Grassman. Anybody who's a cryptid hunter knows the Ohio Grassman.
Melonhead.
The Melonheads in Kirtland. Yeah, just all kinds of crazy stuff, and we don't have to leave our state. I could drive an hour and a half to 2 hours either way and find a place where I could do some major research and storytelling.
Oh yeah.
But one of the cool things I think we're going to try to get involved though is interviewing people like who've witnessed these things. Like I'm going to start researching. I think I'm going to start with the Ohio Grassman first because that's something that I like. So I'm going to start tracking down people who have in some way documented like eyewitness accounts. And I've already found, I just found there was a video that came out, I think last year from a couple hikers in Salt Fork of what they believe is the Ohio Grassman. And this thing looks legit to me. I mean, it could be either way because I know anybody could take any kind of video
Yeah.
now with their phones and edit it and make it look like whatever they want. So it could be
It's so hard.
bullshit. But it's a place to start. So super excited about that, and I'm like really kind of getting.
Well,
Like,
just a suggestion.
Yeah.
If you have any Indian tribes up there, go
Mhm.
talk to them. They'll give you the
Yeah.
download, and they'll give you the real history.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
you get a lot better information.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I actually know some people that are involved with some local. There's a local Blackfoot powwow down in a camp. It's down in Loudonville. I can't. What's it called? Shoot.
I don't
I don't know. It's a big camping national park area down in Loudonville
Mohican?
and Mohican. Yes, thank you. And there's
good.
always that. Yeah, she is.
Well, I was surprised they couldn't
Yeah.
figure out Mohican. That's what I was trying to figure out.
You're like, that can't be it.
But we used to actually go to this powwow because my wife, her and her father were, interested in that. They have Blackfoot in their lineage,
Mhm.
so that'd be a good place to start and just kind of dig into that and see what they know and what their theories are and stories.
Yeah, because like George said, their stories don't change over time.
They stay pure.
Yeah, so if
Right.
you want to get the real story, the original, then
Right.
that's a good
Start at the
place to
beginning.
start.
Always start at the beginning.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I'm super excited about that. It's going to be my way to kind of like get into the other avenues of research that I've always wanted to. So
Mhm.
something to keep me busy because then, I'm not busy enough with work and family
Yeah.
and stuff. I got to
Right.
squeeze in some of the other stuff.
Yeah.
I understand. I really do.
Laura said she used to go to Mohican powwow. Yeah, like my father-in-law used to have a campsite where he put his RV right there at where they had the powwow. So it was amazing. Like you didn't even
That's
have to like
cool.
walk up and like watch it because we could just see it from his lot area. And we just sit there and listen to them, the music and the dancing and the chanting. It was amazing stuff. It was really cool. Denise, hey Bigfoot, you want a hug?
I'd be
That would
like,
be
"They're
Denise's
so
attitude.
cute."
Yes. Oh my God, you're amazing. I just want to hug you. Do you have like a little plushy version of yourself I could buy?
They're like, yeah, we sell them down by the road.
Yeah. Talk to our friend Frank. He doesn't mention us in YouTube, but he sells us down by them. That is funny. Kathy nailed that one.
Yeah.
I'd probably be. I mean, honestly, if I walked up on a Bigfoot, I'd probably be scared shitless. I'm not.
Yeah, I don't know what I would
I'd
do.
be
I
like,
think I would
oh,
just-
how you doing, sir?
Top of the morning to you.
I'm used to being around bear and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I mean, I was chasing a bear down the driveway of my house not too long ago in my pajamas.
Oh my gosh.
She was probably 350 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
So that's
too
it.
good.
Black bear, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah. She was in my tribe.
Oh wow.
Gosh.
So here I am in the middle of the night chasing a black bear, cussing her,
Yeah.
trying to get her to drop the trash bag.
No, they're scooping up any food they can eat right now, getting ready for winter.
Oh yeah,
They're probably moving like crazy too.
we've had more black bear this year than we've ever had. I've had 4 come through my yard.
Oh really?
Wow.
Well, there's been a lot more sightings here, like in our areas and parks and in
Mhm.
Ohio now too. Like especially
We
out
had
in the
2 in
Youngstown
Madison
area.
this year too. Yeah.
Yeah,
We
they're
had one.
migrating.
I got a sliding glass window for the back door,
Mhm.
and I threw some apples out there to feed the deer.
Oh.
And we looked out, and he was probably, I don't know, maybe 125 pound black bear. He was young, and he was out there laying in the middle of the apples. He'd pull them over. And
Oh.
my wife spoke to him, and it scared him to death. He took off running.
Oh yeah. I definitely would have pet it. I would have tried.
But yeah,
Until the
we had-
mom came around.
It needs to be out there going, here, you want another apple?
I've got probably almost 20 deer that come through here all the time, and I've got about 50
Wow.
turkeys that come through here all the
Wow.
time.
That's
Nice.
so
I love the
cool.
wildlife.
Thanksgiving dinner made easy.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Ray lives in a heavily deered area.
Oh
Surprisingly.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
Surprisingly.
I live in we're basically suburb right here where I live. You know, and I'll wake up and get every morning like scare the shit out of me. There's like 5 deer running through my front yard, and it's like, what the fuck? Like, you know, I
There's a
You
whole
understand.
guys
group
have
of
no
them like
trees
that.
for
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
We
the
have
one
a lot of
morning,
deer here, but they don't have to come out of the woods. They have plenty
Yeah.
of places to
Yeah.
hide, so
Right.
they stay back there.
Yeah,
We can have a
there's
garden
nowhere
in
to.
our yard and never put a fence around it, and they never come out to
Yeah, we
get. I
can't
don't
do that
know.
here. My neighbor's got like a 6-foot high fence around his
Yeah.
tomatoes because they just come in and eat the crap out of those things.
Yep.
But no, the
Crippled.
problem is now too is we have coyote running around here. Like, I mean, one morning I'm like sitting in my work van getting ready to take off, and down the street this like dog looking thing comes running down. I thought it was just like a neighbor's dog or something that maybe got loose. It got up. It's a freaking coyote. So we got coyotes running around here like crazy too. It's getting kind of nuts. You know,
Yeah.
and I'm worried for people's small animals. I got a 9-pound little Yorkie poo that I'm afraid to let on her run in the front yard because that's
Mhm.
that's a snack.
That's like appetizer right there, man.
Right,
Yeah.
right. My neighbors let their cats just roam around free wherever they want to, and I'm surprised one of them haven't been snatched up yet.
Excuse me one moment.
Yeah, no problem.
I have a critter sitting here looking at me through the door that wants in.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Is it a bear?
I hope it's a
No.
bear. I hope it's a bear.
Please be a bear. Please be a bear. Please be a bear. Is it a bear? George, don't come back on unless it's a bear.
Watch it be Bigfoot. He's just letting them in, like, shh.
Said too late.
Fuck you.
Was it? It's not a bear.
We have a neighbor's cat sleeps over here.
Oh my gosh,
Okay. That's funny.
that's funny.
So Michelle, I'm going to read that
Oh.
real quick. Do we already
Okay.
touch base on that? No.
No, go ahead.
Michelle,
Uh-oh.
who's a new viewer. Hello, Michelle. She used to live in Tennessee. Her and her brothers were playing up the way in the mountains with in the snow. Her dad and brothers came running, had no idea what was going on. They said they just saw Bigfoot prints in the snow. Crazy. That's pretty cool.
That's close to here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in western North Carolina, so I'm right. I have the Appalachian Mountains are all around me.
Nice.
Nice.
And
Please tell me it's
north,
weird.
which is closer to Tennessee.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and think about wild animals too. There was a wildcat, like were they calling it a mountain lion or something, or a cougar?
Oh, Bobcat.
Bobcat.
Maybe.
Yeah, that was running. They were tracking it running through Northeast Ohio.
Mhm.
And
Well,
I think they've seen another one.
Here of a cougar now coming back to North Carolina.
Yeah, I can
Oh,
imagine.
wow.
I think they're talking. I've seen a lot of articles written during the pandemic with all the shutdown that nature has been finding its way back.
Mhm.
You know, people not driving. You know, just less traffic, less people around, less pollution. And
Right.
that they're out and about now. Now that we're rearing and revving back up, they're
They're like, oh, shit.
they're just like, oh shit, now I got nowhere to go.
Right.
But I know the bear have definitely been migrating back into Ohio more and more. So I think we're going to see more and more of them, and heading more and more west as they migrate. But,
Oh, Tony, I'm in Asheville. I'm about 60 minutes from Hickory.
I was going to say, is that
nice.
far from Hickory?
what's that?
I was like, is
Cool.
that far from Hickory? I don't know North
Yeah.
Carolina.
Asheville is like surrounded by mountains. We're like in a bowl.
Nice.
Okay.
So, do you have a lot of property where you're at, or you just happen to have 20 deer that come to your house every day?
I have woods in front of my house. I don't own them, but I have woods in front and woods in the back.
Oh,
And I have a radio station beside me. So they run around between the radio station and those woods over there to these woods.
That's so
Oh, okay.
cool.
I used to have down here in the front of the house, down in the bottom part of the woods, I had 4 fox dens.
Oh wow.
And then they all moved out except for I think one still down there.
Oh my gosh.
Now wild fox, those
They're
are
my
cute.
favorite.
I will
They're my
give you.
favorite.
They make some wild noises at night.
Yes.
Oh my god, so do coyote. Fox and
Oh, yeah.
coyote they sound like screaming women. Like
Yeah. I
women in
almost called the
agony.
police when we first moved
Yeah.
here because
Right.
I didn't know what it was and I thought my neighbor was getting murdered.
Right.
And then before I called, I said, maybe just Google it real quick and see, is there an animal that sounds like a screaming woman? I just searched it in YouTube and sure as shit, the first video that comes up is a red fox. And I was like, yep, that's it. I'm so glad I didn't call the police. Can you imagine?
That would have been great.
Oh gosh. It would have been so
Yeah, but it's
embarrassing.
crazy because I mean the reason we have coyote in Northeast Ohio is because, the brilliant minds of the Ohio Division of Wildlife, they brought them here and released them to thin the deer herd, right?
Yeah.
So instead of thinning the deer herd, they're thinning our dog herds and our cat herds and running through our suburbs. But for years and years and years, I grew up camping out on my buddy's property because his dad lived on this property that used to be like a logging area, so like just woods and woods and woods, like just acres and acres. We go to where we went deer hunting every year. I mean, camping. We spent so much time back there.
Yeah.
And I think the last time I went out there, there had been like maybe a 2 or 3 year span before the time I had camped out there before. So I go there and we're just sitting there and the normal noises, and then the sun goes down and the coyote started. I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, dude, that's coyotes. Like, they're crazy.
Yeah.
He said, and they'll come up close too.
Oh yeah.
He's like, they'll circle your campsite and wait for you to sleep, because they won't. They're not coyotes. Don't necessarily attack, but they will get as close as they can to get whatever food that you might have that they want.
Right.
But
I'd have been out right there. I've been like, see you there.
right. No, eventually I fell asleep because the coyotes got bored. But that was the first time I had heard him, and I was like, what?
That's why I started sleeping in the car whenever we went camping.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, see, when I was young, I'd go up into the woods with just take a knife and maybe a pistol or something or a rifle and go up in the woods, and I'd build me a lean-to and I'd sleep under the lean-to and build fires and all that. And I was in there sleeping one night, and I built me a lean-to and I was under it, and I heard something, and all of a sudden my lean-to started shaking.
Mm-hmm.
He started eating my head out, and there was a bobcat sitting on top of it looking down at me.
Oh shit! Oh,
it figured out what I was, and it didn't take me long to let him know what I was.
Oh my god!
Wow! I'd have to be packing up camp and heading back for some new fresh draws at that point.
Yeah.
It surprised me, I gotta say it.
Yeah.
Denise would be like, "Here, kitty, kitty, kitty."
Right. Like, it's so cute.
I'm not gonna lie, I would be too. Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. Yeah, knowing full well that I'm about to die.
Yeah, I think as scared shitless as I would have been in that moment, I know like a day or two, maybe a week after, I've been like, wow, that was amazing.
Right.
I just saw that thing.
But the scariest thing me in the woods. I mean, I've run up on bear, I've run up on deer, and everything. The worst thing I ever run into in the woods was a wild mule.
What?
A wild mule? I've never heard of such a thing.
Is that a thing?
It was feral.
And that thing was feral, right? It's from some place.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I mean, you think about it, they'll kill a coyote or a cougar with no problem at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
a bear won't jump on one of those things.
Right.
Yeah, I mean that's why farmers keep them, but I've never heard of one being like out in the middle of the woods. That's fucking crazy.
Well, I know, like down in Texas where my uncle lived, he had a huge problem with wild pigs, wild boars.
Oh, they're big down there in Texas.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, they would take out his sheep just for the hell of it because they were too close or whatever. It's not like they wouldn't just they destroy your property. They wouldn't like attack to eat. They would attack just because they're crazy
assholes.
Yeah, they're just
they are.
Yeah.
But
those are making their way up here too. Not they're still in southern Ohio, but
yeah. I know, like
They're
down
here,
around,
they've been here forever.
Oh,
yeah, I know down around like Salt Fork and stuff, like where Sasquatch hangs out.
But they're good eating.
What's that?
yeah.
Wild boar tastes fantastic.
Oh,
Mhm.
really? I've never had wild boar meat.
Yeah, you get that wild taste out and soak it in milk first, and then
Yeah.
cook it. Oh, son. Woo.
Nice.
Yeah, right there now.
That's that I would try it if
I
I could
wouldn't
catch
call it
It's got
wild
a
boar, though.
better-
I would call it wild beast.
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
it's got a better taste to it than regular pork does.
Oh wow, okay.
Those things
That's
are
cool.
freaking scary ass looking, man.
Right. I don't think I would pet that if I saw it in the wild.
My neighbor had one hanging up in his because he got one with a bow and arrow, like they used to do bow hunting like that.
Yeah.
And he had one up there on his wall, like Bigfoot has us up there.
Yeah.
So I would look at
Did it
that
have
thing all the
big
time and go, "What the hell? Why would that
Yeah.
even? Why is that even around?"
Did it have big tusks?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
size of the dog gonna open in a heartbeat.
Oh
It's
wow.
like no.
Shit.
Yeah, no.
We
I
was
know the-
fishing, and they come all the way down to the edge of the creek to get us, but we was
Cool.
far enough they couldn't get to us. But yeah, they were rooting around trying to get truffles, and they were tearing everything to pieces.
Yeah. They're destructive.
Yeah, they especially around the water, like the wetlands and stuff. They are.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I dinked him in the head with a spinner.
Catch of the day. Got wild boar on the end of your hook. What I got, mama? How the fuck do I clean this thing?
Right?
Get my fillet knife.
There's no season on wild boar either, right? You can kill them anytime.
I don't know. I know there used to be a season here.
Yeah.
They've been kept under control pretty good here.
Oh, that's
Okay.
good.
Down in Texas, you can shoot them anytime you want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, down in Texas, pretty much if you own the land, you can pretty much shoot whatever you want anyways. But I mean, yeah, but wild boar are a nuisance, just like coyote up here are a nuisance. The only stipulation, I think, the last time I checked, because I used to deer hunt when I had time, but I know like during deer season, whatever you were harvesting the deer with, that's what you had to use to shoot the coyote. So like it was
okay.
shotgun week. You had to use a shotgun if you wanted to shoot a coyote. But I mean, shit. For the last few years, every shotgun season, my buddy ends up with a coyote pelt because a lot of the times he's shooting at a deer that's running out of the woods into a clearing, and there's a coyote right behind it.
Hey, that's
Chasing
money.
him out. Yeah, right. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, people pay good. I mean, if you know how to skin it and tan it right, people pay good money for those furs.
Oh, yeah.
And he does. So
Oh my god! When I was growing up, my neighbor across the street would just hang their deer, to do the draining and stuff, just in their backyard. And, like I'd walk out in the middle of it, like, what the fuck is that? Seriously, they would just hang it from
yeah. Yeah, my uncle lived in our neighborhood, and he like every time he got a deer, he's like, "Hey Raymond, come over to see what I got." I go in his garage, right in the front, just a deer hanging there with his tongue hanging out and his blood dripping all over the place.
They wouldn't even put it in the garage; it was in the backyard.
Oh no, he put it in his. Oh, it was hanging in the front of the garage, so like the whole neighborhood could see it. It's like, hey guys, everybody, look what I got!
Like right at the sight line of my back door. I'd like open up and it'd be like, oh.
It didn't bother me as much because I'm sure, like George, I grew up with it, so it's
They grew up hunting and fishing, so
yeah.
And every summer we killed a hog at my uncle's house to eat. So
Yeah.
That was.
Yeah.
I'm an old country boy, so I mean.
Oh man, but I saw one of those wild boars. I think that'd be it. Same thing. Well, they're pretty fast too, aren't they?
Yeah.
They are. They're fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what remember last week we were talking about all the weird animals that used to be considered cryptids. Like they used to be considered like folklore until people realized that they were just like real animals. I feel like wild hogs would be on that list because they're honestly fucking crazy looking, with their giant tusks and everything.
They're not only crazy looking, man, they're crazy.
Yeah. And they make crazy noises, but like the platypus was on that list, like of just weird animals that people didn't think could be real. Like, imagine telling people you saw a platypus.
A duck-billed platypus?
Yeah, and they'd be like, yeah, right, that doesn't exist.
I think they're venomous.
They make so many discoveries every year anyway.
Right.
I mean, last year, the year before last, this guy discovered an entire elephant herd that wasn't supposed to exist in Africa.
Oh, wow.
See it?
You know how he found it? It walked past him.
It'd be like, wait, what the hell is this?
It walked behind him.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I hope he embellished it a little bit. Like I was running from this lion, and then all of a sudden in the clearing, these elephants that weren't supposed to be around came storming to save me. That's what my soul would be like.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'd build that big time.
But it's
That's
just,
funny.
I mean, so all of these things didn't exist. Like, why? Maybe someday a Bigfoot will walk past the right person and then they'll be real.
Well, just think how Bigfoot feels trying to describe us.
Right.
Well, I mean, I hear a lot of cryptozoologists talking about researching the Black Panther, and I'm like, I didn't even know that was a cryptid, like considered like it was like on their cryptid research list, and I'm like, I thought those were real things.
Wait, Black Panthers are not real?
Black Panther, yeah.
Well,
Is it just because they're so?
Well, see, my dad, when he was dating my mother, he would walk to my mom's house, and she lived out in the middle of nowhere in the woods.
Yeah.
And he actually had one that would follow him. He'd come to a certain point right there by the church.
Yeah.
And this Black Panther would come out of the woods and follow him down so far and then go back up in the woods.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
It did it every time he went to see my mom, that happened.
Wow.
What
I mean, maybe it's
is it just watching its territory or something, or
just making sure he went on through.
That's crazy.
Never it would growl at him, and that was it.
Huh.
That's it.
I mean,
is that not enough? Okay.
That's probably as close as I'd want anything to happen. But
the things we do for love.
Well, you're just gonna growl at me and walk away? I mean, come on, buddy.
Daddy's pretty tough when he was young, so I mean,
yeah, apparently. I would have been like, I can't see you anymore.
I know, that's what I'm saying. They're going to be like, well, this is over, I guess.
Yeah, we have to break up because I can't do it.
Maybe we write each other letters. I don't know, but
this is not working. Good thing your dad's brave.
He's just no country boy too.
But
he was probably like, "Hey, kitty,
right?
Don't make me slap you."
Oh gosh, I didn't realize that they were like cryptids though.
That's where I mean, maybe I just watched Jungle Book one too many times, where I thought the Black Panther was just a real thing that like they just lived everywhere. I don't know, but anyways, one of my friends who started, it was a guy that I got into ghost hunting with in the beginning, and it didn't work out too much, but he was still a good guy. He was into research. He did great research. He actually did a presentation on the Black Panther at a cryptozoology convention. So that's where I was like getting confused. Like I actually thought that was like a real legit, like I mean I knew they were probably obviously endangered, like most wildcats are, but I mean I didn't know it was like on the cryptozoology research list. But
well, if I understood it right, they're supposed to be like a black leopard that were brought over here by the Europeans.
Okay.
And they escaped into the woods and did their thing.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I've always heard. How true that is, but that's what I've always heard.
Okay.
Interesting. It was like Josh Gates tracking down the Tasmanian tiger.
Oh yeah.
That thing looks cool. And I've seen more and more videos. Like I'll check on YouTube every once in a while, and I keep seeing more and more videos of people like catching them on camera.
Yeah. So, John's pretty cool. I met him a couple of times.
Oh yeah. He's like, he's one of those guys that I would love to have on the show.
Grail. Yeah.
And sometimes we'll have to pay him some big money, I'm sure. But I mean,
Ray's got a big boy crush on Josh Gates.
I do. I have a boy crush on him.
Yeah.
I do.
Cool.
I just
I like him. I like Ryder.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's just like the real life Indiana Jones to me.
Mhm.
I know
Yes.
it's most of it's scripted. I like your T-shirt, Going Ghostin'. Thank you.
Right.
We have them for sale. If you're interested, contact Denise.
I might have to do it because I love that logo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so cool. And I'm not just
I mean, who
saying that
doesn't?
because
Who
yeah.
doesn't like Bigfoot with a proton pack?
Right.
Oh, I mean,
people
yeah, that's awesome, man.
There you go.
people
Oh,
always
yeah.
talk about it like at the store. They'll be like, "Oh my god, I love that shirt." They don't even know what it is, but they just like it.
It's
you don't-
cool.
Yeah, you don't even have to know what the show is or listen to the show. Like people
Right.
just like the logo. It's cool. Tony
Yeah,
said,
Tony.
"Don't tell Marvel that Black Panther doesn't exist."
Well, see, even in that, he's like beckoning back to a mythical beast for his
Yeah,
powers.
that's
So
true.
it's not like even as like I don't know. I'll have to do more deep diving on that and come up with a better opinion.
That's cool.
You'll be very busy doing a lot of research.
I would
Yeah,
love to, man.
okay.
I would just love immerse myself into that stuff.
All right, we
Just-
want to report by next show then, Ray. All
No.
about the Black
Yeah.
Panther.
I'm
I
looking
don't
like
care if you don't have time. I don't care. I want it done.
all right. Well,
I like you.
Pieces.
He'll do it.
honestly, if it wasn't for Heisenberg, I probably wouldn't do half the shit that I actually do. After talking about doing things for so often,
Yeah.
he's the guy that just do it, man. You got to focus on it and do it. I'll help.
That's what I do. I decided I want to write a book. I wrote a book. I decided I want to act. It's just one of those things.
What are you going to decide to do next?
Yeah, it's about that time. We probably need to do some
I'm gonna
promotion and see what's going on.
stick with writing for a while.
You're,
Till I get a hit book, I'm gonna stick with them.
yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
It's good, and it's something you could do from home.
Right.
It's something you could do on your own time. Whenever. Some people are better at nighttime. You could stay up all night and write if you want to.
Not me.
It's a good gig.
I like it. I like it, especially doing my own stories. I like them.
Yeah, because
And see,
there's no
I'm a
right or
weird
wrong.
person. Well, see, I'm a weird person. I actually dream in color. I dream in length, and I can wake up and lose one story and go back to sleep and pick it right back up again.
Wow.
And
I
die
can do
in my
that too. I've been able to do that too if I want to. If it's a dream that I'm really like interested in continuing and like seeing how it turns out, which for some reason, even if I could pick it back up, I never really see the end. But I could do that too. Like I'll wake up all pissed off. I have to go to the bathroom, do my thing. Just think about it as I'm falling asleep, and it picks right back up.
Yeah, that's
cool stuff.
I just change it. If I don't like the way a dream's going, I change it.
Yeah, if you're like
good.
sleep remote.
Yep.
Nope.
Straight to the menu.
Right. Yeah. Where's the guide channel? I don't like this.
So, where do we follow? Where do we follow you at? Where do we keep in touch with you? How do people find your books?
Go to my website. My website is authorgeorgelunsford.x10host.com. And my beautiful wife is one who actually created my website.
Awesome.
Nice.
You did a great job. The website's really, really good.
Thank you. And I put all the interviews I do, I put on the podcast now. I mean, on the website. So I'll put you guys.
Awesome.
Also.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Well,
So
shit.
awesome. So, and I will definitely, when I get it back, I'll send out links to all the sites I have, all the Facebook and Instagram and all that crap.
Awesome. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. That's
Just make
awesome.
one. Just make one post for us that has everything, and we'll share it on the page and on our pages.
Yeah,
so that
absolutely.
people can find everything, because you've got a lot going on. There's a lot of cool stuff that people want to look into more. So
I appreciate that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Michelle, it's a funny story. She says, I want a shirt that says "Gone Drinking."
Yeah.
It's pretty funny because the person who designed this shirt for us is a buddy of mine. He actually drew this logo. Well, this is actually based off another logo. I was talking about the cabin that we go to earlier. Back in the day, we used to, like, all my buddies from high school and my buddy who owned the cabin, we'd all meet like once a year for a big, all like 3-4 day weekend camp out. We called it Sausage. Well, the our wives called it Sausage Fest.
Yeah.
You know, because a bunch of dudes together.
I don't think they did. I think you guys did.
No, it was the wives, but we thought it was hilarious, so we coined the phrase, and my buddy would design a T-shirt for every time we'd have a Sausage Fest. So we
I
had
like the
5
Pitfall
different
one.
T-shirts.
The Pitfall one's my favorite.
Yeah, yes, but it's actually the same design of the Sasquatch, but he's holding a beer instead of a proton pack,
Nice.
and he's got there's like a
So we
a
could
thing
do a
of,
gone drinking ones.
yeah, it was really cool. It said Sausage Fest is like in the style of the old Atari game.
Yep, that was my
And, like,
favorite one.
Cheryl's End cabin was right behind him. Yeah, it was really cool.
I used to
Oh,
love Pitfall.
If I asked him to do the logo for the show, he just sent it. I'm like, that looks really familiar. He's like, dude, last Sausage Fest T-shirt. I'm like, holy crap, it's the same one. He's just holding a proton pack. That's awesome.
My God, we've been wearing Sausage Fest shirts this whole time. Great.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Well, it's no
Oh,
longer.
goodness.
Nobody even knows as
Yeah,
Sausage
the
Fest
logo,
anymore.
the Bigfoot logo's been around.
Cryptic
Been around a
Paranormal
bit.
Yeah.
But it's
Anyway.
about that time. It's 10:04. We got to go, man. I just want to thank you so much for coming on and dealing with our bullshit.
I loved it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I appreciate y'all having
We learned a lot from you. I'm going to be ordering these books as soon as I get paid tomorrow. And I can't wait to read them and learn some of these stories that you researched and put out there. So, and we'll be looking for your future projects, and
Yeah.
maybe when those get released, we'll have you on again for sure.
I hope you enjoy them. I really do.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. So thank you for being on, Denise Heisenberg. Guys
Real
are
quick,
awesome.
Thank
Love
you guys for the happy birthday wishes.
Oh, you bet, man. You bet.
Happy
Oh,
late
yeah,
birthday.
Yeah.
And we did congratulate Denise on her fancy Century 21. She's on the
That's
Asa
right.
Cox team. That's awesome. Congratulations.
That's Number 1 Century 21 team in the world.
Right? So that's it for
Get
the
pictures of the house.
What?
Get pictures of the basement of that house.
I know. I will.
yes, that'd be sweet.
Yeah.
Very cool. So next week we have Jeremy York coming on from Things Paranormal. Got a lot. They just added some regional new teams to the Things family, and they also started their own broadcasting network for probably just like what we do with all the different shows and everything. So a lot to talk about. He was pretty active in the chat last week and had some interesting theories we're going to talk with him about. So he'll be on next week, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock Thursday night on the Cryptic Paranormal Show. We will spook you later, crypto heads. And remember,
Bye.
Don't be
don't
an
be
asshole.
an asshole. We'll see you later, everybody. Have a good night.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.